All right, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm sure you all saw our latest announcement. Before we get into the AMA portion of this, I want to just open the floor up to the EverRise leadership team. I'm sure a lot of you guys are waiting to hear from us. So, without further ado, Suresh, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Jen. Thanks to the entire community. Welcome to the EverRise 2.0. So, yeah, first of all, I'm very happy to take this approach where we can actually define our future. People might be knowing when we started EverRise, we did not have clear goal. Like we always wanted to bring the buyback into the crypto, and we just tried with it. But at the time, if you look at the tokenomics or whatever it is, everything is actually falling into the meme category. Like we went because we are in the BSC and I am in the BSC, we did the same thing. Now, after we started building the products and after seeing the community response to the EverRise, I'm very much motivated and we wanted to do more and more. So, but at the same time, with the tokenomics, whatever we have, it will not be possible. Like we need to expand our base to multiple chains. When people are always asking like why can't we go to the exchanges like any exchange, but the problem is we don't have much tokens left out. Like it will be like same small number of tokens are left out to give to the exchanges and people have to move further. But before we go there, we want to make sure that we are successful on the DeFi space. And as you have seen, we tried to go to ETH. I mean, our idea was to give the chance for the ETH investors to jump onto EverRise, but because of our less number of tokens available, we could only go with small liquidity, and we saw the issue like it's not possible to actually have the proper way of doing the bridging. I mean, if you see the bridge, we have a fastest bridge right now, which is taking approximately average 10 seconds. But in order to fully utilize the bridge across multiple blockchains, even the liquidity should be proper in all the blockchains. So that's when I realized, I mean, we have to do something. We have to make sure that we will be there forever in the sense in the future. It's not just like for 1 month to 2 months. We need to think about long term. So that is the reason we are coming up with a new upgraded contract for EverRise. And more importantly, a couple of features. I mean, we wanted to, I mean, as you can see, like we have one quadrillion tokens initially. Now that number itself actually gives people that okay, it is a meme token or like sheet token. Like they don't actually care much. If we want it to be like we have real products, we are building real products. Why do we need to call it as meme or like? I mean, I agree that we started that way, but we are changing, so we are adopting. Like we have to change. Now that is the reason we are trying to reduce the supply, and it will be 100 billion tokens, and there will not be any burning. I mean, we're not going to burn any tokens in the future. So that is the reason we are changing or upgrading our protocol from buyback and burn. That was the initial one, but right now we'll be doing buyback and staking. So that is one feature. And also we wanted to reduce the tokenomics from 11% to 6% so that the tax will be minimal and it will be same across all the chains, not only the BSC, DHR, Poly, what are the future chains we're going to bridge, everything will be same. And people can, as I said, we are saying like buyback and staking, which means people can stake. And you might be wondering, like, I mean, how are we gonna get the tokens or how much percentage we'll be getting if you stake? This is a new interesting thing what actually we are putting. So far, nobody has done it. So what we're saying is we'll not be giving any kind of percentage or anything. We'll be doing the buyback and distribute those buyback tokens, whatever we bought back from that using the buyback concept, those tokens will be distributed to the holders who stake. So that is the so and this will be like automatic buyback. There will not be any manual buyback involved. We are going to upgrade the contract in such a way that it happens through automatic buyback. And as soon as the buyback happens, the tokens will be distributed to the stakers who are staked in the staking contracts. And the other thing what we're looking is, yeah, we are going to remove the reflections. Reflections is like the 2% reflections, whatever we thought it's really not worth just having those reflections because we're giving way bigger than the reflections in the form of staking. So all the long-term holders will love to get more tokens rather than these 2% tokens. So that is one aspect. And again, the new protocol will be having the option to swap from the native currency to the underlying any token, not just USDT or anything. We'll have option to convert to any other currency. It's kind of investment also we can think like. So I mean, that's what actually we planned for ETH, but for some reason because of the liquidity imbalance, we couldn't actually execute properly, and we learned the lesson like, okay, this is not the way to actually go with it. So that is the reason we'll have 100 billion tokens, and the holders who is holding the V1 contract, they will get the same number of tokens with the appropriate ratio, whatever it's like 10,000 to 1. So they will be getting the same tokens, and we'll be going with same liquidity across all chains when we launch, which means we need to have the tokens. And one good thing what happened to the project is because of buyback and burn, I mean, one thing is we can actually still continue the burn tokens as it is, but since we need the new liquidity, we need to mint new tokens, which I'm not gonna do it because we'll be limiting the cap at 100 billion and will not like the same ratio. People will get the same ratio number of tokens, but whatever the burn address has, those tokens will utilize them for the liquidity purpose. So in all the chains will be maintained when we launch it. For example, I'm just giving an example. Suppose if I go with 10% as the liquidity, so in all the three chains, it will be 10% liquidity, and the approximate BNB, whatever is the current value, like whenever we actually stop the trading on the V1, whatever be the value, that will be the value in all across the chains. If at all, if we need any kind of new liquidity, like if we need to raise a little bit more, yeah, then we'll have a pre-sale for those tokens, and that pre-sale will happen through our EverSale platform, which will be launched on the day. So we'll be coming up with our sale with our V2 launch. And also for migration of these V1 to V2, we'll have a new D app for migration where people can just go to the app, they can just deposit their tokens and get the new tokens. It will be very seamless for everybody. And the other thing is, yeah, for the staking also, we'll be having a new D app where people can actually go to the UI and they can just stake their tokens and just leave it there. I mean, like even for staking, we haven't actually mentioned in the blog. I'm just giving an example. Like we are coming up with like 3 types of staking, like 1 month, 3 month, and 6 month. So which means whenever you stake your tokens to 1 month contract, you cannot sell those tokens until 1 month is over. So even you can keep adding it whenever you want, but that is a time period. And the percentage distribution will be accordingly from the buyback. For 1 month, it will be 10% tokens. For 3 months, it will be 30% of the bought tokens. And for the 6 months, it will be 60% of the buyback tokens. So it's like for the longer you stake, the longer tokens you will get as rewards. And we are, as I said, we are not thinking for very short term, like we're thinking for long term. We want to be a legitimate company with good products, more products. I mean, when we build the bridge, our idea was only like to give the option for the trading on the rise. But after the bridge is built, when we see the transaction speed, everything, we were really shocked. I mean, then I thought we can actually make more out of it. So we can actually, I mean, there is one more option like from BNB to ETH if you want to convert. So they can still do with bridge, and the rise will be used as the utility underlying the conversion. So everywhere the rise will be the utility. We have like, I mean, right now what we are doing is we're just thinking big and planning our future. I mean, we cannot just cannot just hype it or like do some kind of marketing. I mean, eventually, if we just go with the route, somewhere we'll eventually die. Like, I mean, we have to make sure that we are. I mean, even right now we are surviving in the BSC, and just sitting in the BSC alone won't give any kind of future for us. So we have to look for opportunities on Ethereum, Poly, or Avalanche, or like, I mean, there are so many other, even Cardano, Solana, anything. Like, we will try to go to each and every chain. That is the reason what we are saying is we'll integrate the blockchains. in the form of bridge. That is one goal. And at the same time, whatever the products we planned, like our wallet or everything will automatically come out. And since we are actually adjusting our circulation right now, so I think we can actually plan perfectly for the company. So I'm very excited. And even when I launched EverRise, I had only like I was only thinking about the buyback, just buyback. I mean, like, okay, this might interest people to see that the chart will keep on going. Like for every sell, there will be buy. But right now, my intention is not about buyback. It's about planning the future for everybody. Like buyback is still our core principle, so that will be there. That is the reason why we are using buyback and stacking. So yeah, so I'm very happy that we are taking the right decisions and we are going with right approach, planning everything perfectly. Hope the community appreciates it and support us. I mean,
Suresh,
yeah,
um, just building off of something that you mentioned about like us building this now correctly and being able to, upgrade our protocol in the way that we are. What I think, like, my favorite thing about this is it really opens the door to a lot of the partnerships that we've been talking about, like the tier one partnerships. It makes our coin, or sorry, our token way more appealing. Um, and with the updates of the tokenomics and the utility, like I'm just really excited for that.
yeah. I mean, as I said, like we have so many things going on with respect to partnerships, but we can't just say it because we wanted to make sure that we are on the right path before they start speaking about us. This is the step. This is the first step for us, like going to that direction, like where we reduce the supply and make sure that we are solid. So
Yeah. If I could add a couple things as well, this is Waso. When I joined EverRise, I came here because I saw this project as a solutions provider, right? I saw that EverOwn was being built at the time, and we all know now that EverOwn provides the safest place to put your smart contract. It's not in the dev's wallet, it's not in a multi-sig, it's not renounced. The safest location for your smart contract is in EverOwn, right? So for me, that was like such a huge selling point for why I joined this team. And now we're taking that idea of, being a solutions provider and taking it to any blockchain, that's available to us. Like even as recently as today, our team has had, talks with other core teams of other blockchains who are interested in bringing EverOwn to their chains, and we're at this point, prior to V2 being announced, our tokenomics didn't really allow us to, migrate to other chains seamlessly. Um, like Titan had mentioned, our tokenomics, when you look at them at surface level, they do replicate, a meme coin. Um, simple things like even getting your market cap updated on Coin Market Cap or CoinGecko is near impossible when you have deflationary tokenomics. And that's just a very like small example, but for outside investors that are looking in at projects, they're not even able to identify our size accurately. Um, so for me, having a fixed supply is essential to growing and expanding to other chains. I also love that we're reducing the taxes from 11 to 6. I think 6% is a lot more attractive to investors. I've always loved staking. Some of the most successful chains out there, are built on staking, and allowing each investor to decide whether they want to earn a little extra by locking up their tokens or not. Should be up to the investor. In my opinion, it shouldn't necessarily be something that's forced through the smart contract. Um, but yeah, Titan, I said this to you earlier. For me, this is maybe one of the best announcements we've had to date. Um, it is going to allow us to, reach multiple chains, and the most important thing is the liquidity, right? Like, for everyone that's followed, what our launch on Ethereum looked like. it's very tough to take, our $3.5 million in liquidity on Binance, which is locked for, another, I don't know, 9 months or so, and try and replicate that on other chains. So, moving over to a V2 where it allow us to have, equal liquidity across all the chains we're going to be on. We're showing up to those chains as a solutions provider where we're going to be able to onboard projects onto Everown and Everbridge and the remaining suite. Got a phone call. Can you guys hear me still?
Yeah, you're good.
Sorry, I just got a call. Just ended it real quick. But yeah, that for me is the most exciting thing here, is that we're going to be able to take our suite of products to other chains while having, equal amounts of liquidity, where all, traders will have the opportunity to invest in Rise. There's a lot of people that only invest in Ethereum. Same with BSC. Some people don't like, the gas fees over on ETH. Some people are, exclusively building on Cardano. Crypto.com launched Kronos mainnet, and they've already had 300 smart contracts launch. That's a place where I would like to be. I would like to offer our services, on that blockchain as well. So yeah, I just wanted to really reiterate that, fixed supply is definitely essential for, long-term sustainable growth. The reduction in taxes is huge. The moving from reflections to staking, and then of course making our products available, on other chains.
And if I may add just a little bit to that, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Good. So my favorite thing about this is essentially the same, but just from a slightly different angle. So, being the futurist that I am when it comes to blockchain, I look at this as a development in technology. So when we launched the bridge, it is the fastest bridge we've seen. It literally replicates the block speed. So you can transfer tokens over to Ethereum in 10 seconds. And that's the speed limit because that's the block speed. I mean, if you come in like at half block, then you can do it in 5 seconds. But it's pushing up to the theoretical limit of how fast a bridge can be. That's really exciting technology. And that's something that we built, or I mean, I shouldn't say we, it's, Tyson and the technical team, that's something that these guys built. It's incredible. And if you happen across that kind of technology that nobody else has, you need to, strike while the iron is hot. And so that's what we're really doing here. This is all a consequence of the bridge being such an enormous technical success that we as a team have decided to bring this technology to a bunch of other chains as well. This really opens up a lot of doors, not just with partnerships. I mean, the folding the supply is a good thing, and reducing the taxes and reducing or taking off the deflationary parts and this sort of thing. All of that helps with partnerships and listings and all this kind of stuff, and that's great in the medium term. But if I look at this as like what actually has happened now to EverRise, what has happened is that we've become a blockchain infrastructure project, much in the way that like Polygon is an Ethereum infrastructure project. So it's a scaling solution for Ethereum. It helps the system, all blockchain systems work better. And if we manage to launch that same incredible bridging technology together with, of course, with our dApps in a bunch of other chains, I mean, we could be the solutions that we could provide to this space and to blockchain technology generally could really change things. I mean, I don't want to say that like the world is going to change necessarily, but it might. And that's really exciting. And that's my favorite part of this. It's just that the sheer technological brilliance that Tyson and the technical team have come up with is incredible, and that is really the reason why we're going ahead with this V2 launch now. So that's essentially the same point that Wasso was making, but just from a slightly different angle.
TJ, do you want to say anything before we open up the floor?
Yeah, I'll just add in that you guys know I was here from the very, very beginning. I'm talking pre-sale, and I've watched this project grow from a simple buyback token to something that can literally revolutionize the space to a whole other degree. I mean, I obviously have a little bit of a bias, but I don't really see anyone else on the Binance Smart Chain doing anything like this. I think we are years ahead of anything else going on right now, which is why it was very important to us to expand to multiple chains, launch V2, introduce staking. It just opens up so many doors and a lot more potential for the project moving forward. I mean, there were partnership things we couldn't accept in the past, just by being on BSC alone. The fact that we had a quadrillion tokens in the past kind of put us in the meme coin, I guess you could say, realm, even though we're not. So this change is super needed. I'm stoked about it. The whole team is really excited about it. We've done this all so quickly. We're working tireless hours behind the scenes. I mean, it's pretty much almost 24 hours a day. And, what we're accomplishing and what the technical team is accomplishing behind the scenes is record speeds, I think. And we're not just rushing the things to get them out. I mean, we're doing rigorous testing. Everything works. We just have a team of brilliant people all around taking EverRise to the next level, and we're thankful to each and every single one of you for investing in the project, believing in the vision, and wanting to improve crypto for the better.
Awesome. So on that note, we're going to go ahead and open up the floor. I see we have a couple people who have requested to speak. We'll start with Derry. Derry, you now have the floor. How's it going?
On the bottom left, Derry, there's a little mic icon. You got to click that, and then as soon as it turns like that purplish color, you could talk.
Oh, yeah, I can see. So I just wanted to say it's a great idea, reducing the supply. I just wanted to know, obviously I've heard a few people talk about the reason we're reducing the supply is because, to make us less of a meme coin, even though we're not. I just wanted to know, is there any plan on changing the name EverRise? That sounds kind of memey, so, that's my question.
Yeah, good question. But yeah, right now we're not planning to change. I don't know about the future. Yeah, but I know it looks like, but we'll stick with the name for now.
Okay, no worries.
I'll add on to that. I mean, you look at a lot of the names of our D apps, it's ever this, ever that. I personally really like the brand. It's something that a lot of people have become very familiar with. I personally wouldn't advise changing the name at this point. I don't even know if we would change it in the future, to be honest, just because it's become sort of a household name in the crypto space. And I don't know. I think what we've built with EverRise and EverBridge, EverStake, EverLock, EverSwap, I think it's great. And our token's name is Rise. So personally, I think the name is great. That's just my 2 cents. I mean, I'm just one guy, but
yeah, I was just thinking
how
if I wanted to move away from the meme coins and the meme space and get more serious, there's so many coins out there that are ever this, ever that. It seems to be more of a
where did they get that name
yeah,
from, though?
exactly.
Got to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And especially when things like that launch and you see ever this or something rise, I mean, it just pays respect to us, I think. I mean, imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Sure.
Cool. Thanks, Derry. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, man. Thank you.
All right. A lot of hands up. So let's go with Brendan. You now have the floor.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Wonderful work, guys. Very proud, very thankful to be with this project. Just wondering if you could tell us a little bit more what action needs to be taken by any holders to participate in version 2. And a second question would be, will version 1 still exist, and can people still hold version 1 tokens forever as a memento if they choose?
Yeah. So, Suresh, do you want to take it or do you want me to answer?
Yeah, you can answer.
So, with regards to what people holding version 1 need to do, about a week before we launch V2, we will release a new DApp where you will be able to swap your version 1 tokens for the version 2 tokens. This will be done according to the new ratio, which I believe is 10,000 to 1. So you may hold less Rise, but the fiat value would be the equivalent of your V1 holdings, if that makes sense. So you guys don't need to do anything. What's really great about us releasing this new DApp a week before V2 launch is it actually allows Rise holders to start staking immediately before we officially launch the token for trading. So there's that. Can you remind me your second question again?
Sure, it's just whether kind of version 1 will remain operative so people can hang on to their tokens for good memories.
Yes. So at some point, I believe it will be once we release the DApp for swapping to version 2, we will actually halt trading on version 1. What this will do, and so at that point, it's up to you if you want to, swap your tokens or not. And then our liquidity pool, let me just double check the date. Sorry, I want to make sure I'm giving you. Oh, and that's my roommate's dog.
You mean the liquidity unlock date?
Yeah, the liquidity unlock date.
16 June 2022. But
yep. So
but before that, there'll be the migration will be well before that, which will involve halting trading on the V1 side. There'll be like a swap D app that allows you to do this migration. And you can of course hold on to your tokens if you like. You won't be able to trade them, but you'll still be able to swap them all the way until the liquidity unlocks in June 2022. But yeah, I mean, you can hold on to them forever for like good memories. If you want to hold on to one Rise in order to be able to prove to your mates that like you were one of the original investors, then go ahead. But
I definitely do.
Yeah, I can understand that. And you, Brendan, have you've been through the thick and thin of it, so I can totally understand that. But I would of course advise everybody to switch over to V2. If they want to keep one token in their wallets for good memories, then please do.
Great. Sorry, I was also dealing with the dog, so thanks for jumping in there, Alex. Let's go ahead and bring up a couple more questions. Cryptopian, the floor is yours. Hey, Cryptopian, how's it going?
Hi, I'm good. Do you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Good. That's good news. Thank you for sharing this with us. I have a question actually regarding to the staking. Will it be a locked staking, an auto compounding staking, or just I would say free staking? Anybody can unlock their. It's not unlocking, just get back their tokens whenever they want.
So it's
That's my question.
Thanks, Kryptonian. It's a locked staking system. Certainly, with an initial lock, we're not quite sure yet whether we haven't quite decided whether the initial lock will be the duration of the stake or whether it will be just an initial lock and then when you withdraw, your staking ends. The way the staking works is that the buyback function of the contract will be the method by which you get more tokens. So those people who stake will be the beneficiaries of the Kraken, as it were.
Okay, I see. Yeah. Yeah, it's clear. Thank you.
Great. Let's see here. We got Crypto Eagle. The floor is now yours. Hey there, Crypto Eagle. How's it going? Oh, I'll go ahead and invite another person while you get your mic situated. B Panther, the floor is now yours. You might have to unmute your mic in the bottom left-hand corner.
Hi there.
Hey there.
Can you guys? All right, nice. Thank you for the opportunity. Appreciate it. Yeah, a couple questions. Just follow up with the staking that person was asking there. You did not respond to the compound aspect of it. Would it be a compound staking? And also, could the community have the option of choosing between a BUSD reward and a Rise reward? Thank you.
Yeah, let me take this one. It is not BUSD, it is still Rise. When we say compound, it's not like we're not giving the tokens based on what you have. It's like whenever the buyback happens, the tokens will be distributed to the specific stakers. So it all depends on what they have it. So theory, you can actually look at it as a compound, like what are the tokens. If you keep on increasing, your share will be increased. The new tokens, what you'll be receiving will be increased. So we're not saying like this is the percentage of amount, like you will get like 5% or 10%. What we're saying is we buy back the tokens and distribute to the stakers.
Awesome. And what about the option of having BUSD as a reward? Is that a possibility?
We want to keep it in Rise. Like we're not trying to convert them to BUSD or like, if at all, if there is anything we can do, yeah, we'll think about it. Like for that staking, if we can actually give some kind of change it to BUSD and send every day or like every 24 hours or like like every 1 hour. We have to, I haven't really thought about that one, like planning out giving on BUSD or something. Yeah. Thank you. I'll take a look.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that, Titan. Yeah, it's just the stability of BUSD. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Yep.
So whatever volatility we are having in Rise, at least the rewards on BUSD will be stable, and then everybody will be winning.
Yeah, I mean the only problem is converting to BUSD from Rise. It'll always create the same sell pressure of what we see it. So that's why I was a little against to it initially. But if not the entire amount, actually we can actually plan something like what are the reflections we get. We can say I'll think about it. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Keep up the good work.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. Jack, you now have the floor. Ooh, Jack disappeared. I see Crypto Eagle. I see you spamming. Let's try this again. All right.
Hello.
Hello. You made it.
I did it, yes. Hello, guys. I had a few questions, but you answered some of them already. I have only one question. What would be make us now unique if we stop with the buyback process?
Well, we're not stopping with the buyback process. We will still have a buyback protocol. We're just changing the protocol to be buyback and staking as opposed to buyback and burn.
Okay, then I understand it so that we change from buyback to staking. Am
No,
I
so
correct or?
Yeah, so what will happen is right now on V1, if the Kraken buys back the Rise off the open market, those tokens are permanently burned, right? What will happen in V2 is when the Kraken buys back off the open market, instead of taking those tokens and burning them, those tokens will be redistributed among those who are staking.
Okay, I got it. Okay. Thank you very much, and best regards from here to my colleagues Murat. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, Zero, you now have the floor. You might have to unmute your mic.
I forgot it gets my it turns off my headset. Do you guys have a timeline on this or?
Yeah, so as mentioned in the blog post, we're targeting a mid-quarter 4 completion of this year. So it'll be happening over the next couple of weeks as we get closer to finishing, all the upgrades and looking at what we have to do from the technical side. We'll release the launch date. Awesome. I see the 100 up emoji, so I'm going to go ahead and invite another speaker. See, we have Jay Crypto. The floor is yours. Oh. All right, let's bring up another speaker. Hal, you've been waiting for a minute. The floor is now yours. How you doing? You might have to unmute your mic in the bottom left. All right, bringing on Reflection Pappy. Oh, gotta unmute your mic.
Was it my turn or someone else?
It's your turn. Take us away.
Hi guys, great job. I love everything you guys are doing. It's bringing us up another level. I just have a quick question concerning. I always had the difficulty of knowing that when I transfer, I always wanted to transfer my tokens to a new wallet, but I would incur that tax. I was wondering when I go from V1 to V2, would I be able to send it into the V2 system but output it into a separate wallet from my original wallet, or is it going to go in the same wallet? And then if so, would there be a tax if I did that?
Migration is no tax. Like without tax, we'll be migrating it. Since you have mentioned it, like if you wanted to go to a different wallet for the V2, yeah, we'll try to add that option. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you.
Okay, but I have a question for you.
I know what your question is going to be.
Yeah, me
Yes.
too. Yeah.
We've
Can you guess
actually
what it
talked
is?
about you.
What questions?
We want to know, Reflection Pappy, if you will be changing your name to Staking Pappy.
The entire team wants to know. We've been talking about this. We talked about this in a core team meeting. We want to know what's the answer.
Yes, I will.
Let's go.
Yeah, baby. I love it.
LFG.
Awesome. All right, guys, we got, 21 hands. Let's see here. Big Addy, the floor is now yours.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
We're doing good. How are you?
Excellent. Thanks for taking my question.
Of course.
My question is, will we be voting on these changes, which Of course, I love the changes, but I just want to make sure we stick to one of the core things that makes EverRise what it is.
Yeah, so obviously the changes that we've announced we're going to be doing. But what's really great is we've always known that EverOwn has the utility to do more than just, secure a smart contract. So we mentioned this in the announcement, but we'll be putting majority of the functions of the upgraded V2 contract into EverOwn. So EverOwn, along with the community, will approve any future system upgrades without us ever needing to reclaim ownership of the contract. So you guys as holders will have a say in some of the governance of the project.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Hey, sorry. Yeah, that's some bad service area. Hey, how are you? This is J-Man from Crypto Street Squad. Hey, listen, I'm long time holder since inception, basically, right after launch. Wanted to give you guys a props, man. You guys have outlasted 99% of everything on BSC. Well, Titan and the rest of the team. Titan, nice to formally meet you as well, by the way. Titan and the rest of the team, man. You guys have been incredible with keeping to your guns and setting the direction. This wonderful community, man. You can't ask for anything better. I just wanted to come up and give you guys your prop, and also the question was on the voting that was just asked. And who was the guy that wants to change the name? Why would you want to change EverRise? Oh, come on, man. That's not the right thing to do.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Also, just one more thing with regards to using EverOwn as governance for the token. We'll be releasing more details about this later. I just want you guys to know that that option is there, but it does come with some caveats. So more details on that to come in the coming weeks. In the meantime, let's bring on, sorry guys, there's a lot of hands. I'm going to try to get to you all. Just joshing, the floor is yours.
Hello, guys. I just had a quick question or two. I'm very much into staking, and I love it. But in terms of the buyback and stake, it would both prior with it being reflections. It's all based on volume, correct? Because if it's going to be buyback and stake, volume is a major key to this, right? There's no set APR that you guys plan on doing. It's all based on volume and buyback, correct?
Yes, that's right. And when we say volume, we're not just looking at the investors' volume. We are planning to give the revenues from the apps to the token itself through the Kraken. So even there itself, we get some volume there.
Yeah, everything and essentially tunneling back to the Kraken.
Yeah.
That's great. The second question would be, not that I'm picky or greedy in a sense, just thinking about in terms of revenue coming in, is it almost guaranteed that the buyback staking, because of the taxes being reduced, would you basically guarantee a better return in terms of staking as opposed to reflections?
We can't guarantee anything. Like, God can speak on this. Like, we can't guarantee anything on the returns. God, anything to comment?
Yeah, I can add something here too before you go, Alex.
Yeah, Russell, go ahead.
There is a share. An important thing that hasn't been mentioned yet is that a portion of the revenue that's generated from our products does go into the Kraken, and that in itself will continue to increase our ability to use the buyback, which would ultimately result in additional tokens or earnings given to those who stake. But that's all I was going to say. Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. So it's not just a volume based system. It's it's also got to do with the actual product revenue. And with the bridge in use, it's of course very possible that the revenues from product sales will exceed the actual volume intake into the Kraken. What I was going to say about the sort of guaranteed returns thing is that of course nobody can ever guarantee returns in crypto or indeed anything else, particularly with staking, because so this will be a decision that investors have to make with clear eyes and knowing what they're doing, because it will involve locking your tokens for a certain period of time. And you may have heard of this thing called impermanent loss. That is always a risk with staking, and that's not a risk that we can in any way remove. It's just part of the deal. So obviously, it will hopefully work out in everybody's favor if people stake, and certainly if it's used a lot. But ultimately, nobody can ever guarantee these things. It could be that the whole market just collapses tomorrow and that there's a crypto winter, and in those kinds of circumstances nobody can guarantee anything. So that's kind of all I would say on that.
Fair enough. I appreciate your time. I am a big advocate of keeping the name. I love it. To anyone thinking otherwise, in terms of branding, we can literally change anything in terms of view. Let's stick with the name. Let's continue what we're doing, and I really appreciate all you guys. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Josh. I actually really like the name too. I know that, and I'm probably the least memeiest person like in any room that you will walk into. I personally, I think it's actually a really good name. I probably see it a little bit differently to the investor who comes in for the first time. The investor who comes in for the first time might see it as like, oh, this means that it will only ever rise. But that's not what the name refers to. It refers to this point in time when the adoption of it is so widespread that it's in everybody's advantage. It's in everybody's interests to keep buying if there's good news. And so it works in the same way as like the money supply does. And that's a system of EverRise. It kind of once it reaches that tipping point where the demand for the token because of the utilities is so high, then if the Kraken buys at that point, then everybody will realize that the only thing that they should do to win this game is to buy as well. And then it will reach that point, just like the money supply keeps growing every year. So that's the point of the name behind, or that's the kind of idea behind the name EverRise. And I really like that name. I think it's basically like a goal that we're aiming towards.
Awesome. David, I see you just got up here on the podium. You want to say a few words and then we'll resume the AMA?
I just want to say hello. I hope everybody's having a great day or a great evening. And I'm just excited about the changes that are coming here for with EverRise 2.0.
All right. Let's keep it going. EverRise King, you now have the floor.
I love you, EverRise King.
Oh, gotta unmute your mic.
Is that the guy who sings does the karaoke? Who's the guy?
No, that's Finn.
Yeah, that dude's a cool dude, man.
The best chiller of all time.
Have you heard of Rachel though, TJ?
Yes.
Rachel, that lady shills. But yeah. EverRise King, we're all ears.
Oh, did I get picked?
You got picked.
You sure did.
Wow, bingo. Yeah, I just wanted to say congratulations to the team on such a unbelievable effort, and obviously you've kept us on our toes now for quite a few days, and Lord TJ was saying, just want to say that there's nobody in the BSC doing this. And I felt, probably about a month ago that I had the vision of us, as a team, as a core team, and our direction that we needed those wings to fly. Like we are just better than that. We just needed to get out there. We needed to leave the nest and just fly. And I think now what Titan's created, along with the developers and his team, I think this is really gonna. EverRise is just going to be, an unbelievable journey for all of us as holders, as team members, and I'm so stoked. The vision is real. I've seen it for a long time. I got a big story behind it where I was, quite a good holder in another big project of the BSC, and I just fell in love. I fell in love with EverRise, and I could see it through Titan's eyes, and nothing surprises me with this team. The thing that really attracted me to this team was Titan, because we're dealing with the CEO, the founder, and a developer. He's not relying on a lot of other people. We do have our core team, but when he needs to get things done, he gets them done. Whereas other people, they gotta, tap people on the back. Is how's the wallet going? How's this going? And can really put them behind schedule when it's not their fault. And Titan's just incredible. And from David to Guard to Lord TJ, Wasso, Jason, everybody in the core team. I just want to say that I love you guys so much, and if there's anything I can do in terms of staking or whatever, I'll do whatever it takes to help the team and everyone at EverRise, because I'm just so proud. So just want to say thank you, and go EverRise 2.0. We are not changing the name because that in my family is a very big name, and I'm proud of everything. So well done, guys, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I love you all.
Thank you. As
Thank you for the
always.
kind words, man.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah,
nice.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you so much, EverRise King, as always. I do see a very bright future for EverRise, and I mean, one day it could, and one day soon, it could be the case that people talk about like the Cardano blockchain and the Ethereum chain and the BSC chain, and then they'll talk about, well, how do you get from one chain to another? And they'll go, well, of course, EverRise. You'll use EverRise. You'll use the Everbridge, and that's where we're headed towards. Like nobody's done this kind of stuff before. Nobody's attempted to launch on multiple chains like this before. Nobody has had the kind of ambition to try to connect all these disparate chains in this way. I mean, it really is, the future is bright, and of course, nobody can give you any guarantees, but I am very, very excited and very confident in the work that Titan is doing and in the work that the entire core team is doing.
On that note, oh boy, I might mispronounce this. Valos, Visual Kung Fu, you now have the floor.
Hey everybody! No, that was great. That's how I pronounce it. First of all, congratulations. We're adding utility over utility. That's amazing. And I just wanted to kind of connect on that and say that many NFTs are just a drawing. In fact, they're not. But can we look forward to adding some utility to NFTs as well?
It's definitely something that we're starting to explore. This will probably be something that we talk a little bit more about in the coming weeks via the community AMAs.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, let's see here. GMB, floor is now yours.
Jen, did you, this is Griff.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Hey, thank you. I guess first of all, I just wanted to tell Titan, thank you, and to the team for you guys for your dedication to the project. Also the willingness to change and adapt, to make things better is not always easy. It's certainly not always easy for those that hold token, the community, et cetera. But, I think the vision and the plan moving forward is a good one. And I think all of us should be willing to change. And I appreciate you guys being willing to change. I did have two questions, though, regarding liquidity pool. I think Titan might have mentioned it earlier, but the first part is liquidity pool. How is it established and balanced across the three existing chains, so BSC, ETH, and Poly? How will that be performed, that balancing process?
Yeah, let me take this. So thanks for asking. Like, so many people might be confused, like how are we gonna do it, the liquidity, when we say balanced liquidity. So once we do this swap, we get the V1 tokens, and everything is, after the swap is done, we'll just say that, okay, this is the time period where we'll stop it. This is the price we'll be taking as the base. At the time, we will use those tokens to drain the liquidity, whatever we want, like how much we can get from the liquidity. Then we have some of Kraken funds too, like we have to see how do we get it. Once we have that, we'll distribute this entire liquidity evenly across all the three chains. And which means right now, if you see like 7,000 BNB, but it will be little less liquidity, but the fluctuation will be more. Even though we have like so much liquidity, entire people, they might not get everything out. It's only like it keeps on falling. So we'll have less liquidity, we'll have good charts because of low liquidity, but we'll not have too low. We'll maintain the ratio in such a way that all three chains are balanced. If possible, if you're planning to add the avalanche, then we might conduct a couple of tokens. We might conduct a pre-sale for some of the tokens and raise some more liquidity for avalanche.
And then
if you launch it, it will be like same amount of liquidity in all the three chains, in all the chains.
And then that same process, Titan, for future chains, Avalanche or chain 5, 6, 7, whatever, that same process will be used?
Yes. If at all, if you're launching, we need to raise the liquidity. So we have to see, like, we'll try to launch as many, like either 3 or 4 right away. But going forward, we'll be having some extra cushion of tokens, and those tokens will be utilized for the future launches, either through pre-sale, or if we have any kind of funds we can take out the liquidity from each chain, like some portion of it. Yeah, we can take out the 10% from each chain, then it can put it into the new chain that way.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll balance out the liquidity.
Great. That makes sense.
As I say, like,
appreciate
if you don't balance out, if you don't balance out, there is no use. Like literally.
Okay. Great. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, Titan, and congratulations, and I look forward to the future.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Wise Management, you now have the floor.
Hello, testing.
You're on. You are
Awesome.
live.
So I'm probably better known as J Money in the Telegram. I hang around here and there, but first of all, I just wanted to thank the entire team. You guys are awesome, as so many people have said. I just want to give my little personal spin on that. But since the beginning, I've had pretty much just one big want for this project, and it's the ability to ever hold my tokens, to basically never have to sell them. And one way that can be done is through a DeFi kind of thing where you lend your tokens out to get value. And then, as it appreciates, it'll basically give you the ability to pay back that loan. So my question is there any plans, or have you guys ever talked about the ability to lend against your Rise tokens?
For now, we are not planning, but once we once we fix the bridge issues, once we are live again with V2, we keep evolving. Like we try to add the features, whatever we need. We always listen to the community. So if we need that, we'll try to introduce it. But we haven't
Awesome. Yeah, that's just like the number one thing that I think would be useful, at least from my perspective, is just the ability to, if I want to, get value out of my coins without having to get rid of the coins. And the best way to do that I know of is to lend, basically lend against, or sorry, borrow against the value of your coins. And then, so many different services allow you to do with other name brand coins.
Yeah, it's a possibility that I've floated in one form or another, or various versions of it. It is a little bit, there are complications involved in it, but it's something that we've briefly discussed and will continue to discuss. And just like Titan said, we listen to the community, and it's obviously there are like risks involved. Things like margin calls we might have to develop a system of margin calls, and people might not be too happy about that. So it's not an uncomplicated question, but it's certainly a good idea.
Cool. Awesome. I just want to make sure it was on your guys' radar. And once again, thanks, guys. You do a great job.
Thanks very much, J Money.
Thank you. All right. SB, you now have the floor. How's it going?
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, guys. Excited about the update. Just wanted to ask about how you guys were mentioning that the V2 is going to be live this year, Q4, but then there was something you were saying about June next year.
Yeah, we were just talking about when the liquidity unlocks on V1, which will happen in June next year, and just letting everyone know that once that liquidity unlocks, we will be removing it from the BSC pair.
Okay. And it will be basically just V2 completely.
Correct.
Okay. And in regards to staking, did you guys have like a minimum staking period, like a month, or is it kind of flexible?
We know when you first stake, we want to add an initial lock to that. We have yet to decide on the times. So we'll be releasing those details in the coming weeks as we continue to flesh it out.
Okay. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Alex Inder, I think is how you pronounce that. You now have the floor.
Thank you, Jen. I want to say thank you to you all, core team. Today was very exciting. My question is quite simple. It's like, how likely is it that we'll have a pre-launch with Eversell for the 2.0 token?
We have yet to determine this. It really just depends, but we do know that if we do end up doing a pre-sale for the V2 upgraded contract, we will expedite the development of Eversale and be doing the pre-sale through our own platform.
Sweet. That's all for me, and thank you again.
Thank you. All right, let's see who else we have here that's been waiting for a minute. AB, you now have the floor. You might need to unmute your mic in the bottom left corner.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. So just a quick question. So does the removal of reflections make us compatible with tier 1 exchanges? And will we have the liquidity to provide these exchanges? And also, is it a goal to be on these exchanges? And if so, when can we expect this to happen?
Oh man, a lot of questions there. So with regards to the tier 1 exchanges, the updates in our tokenomics that we're doing do lend itself very well to us getting listed. It makes our project seem a lot more appealing in terms of timeline and when can we expect to be on those exchanges. We can't comment on that. Alex, Wasso, I'll let you fill in any of the gaps if I missed any.
No, couldn't have said it better myself. So it's true that the structural changes that we're making will make it a lot easier for a number of reasons, which are quite complicated, and you probably don't want me to go into. But they certainly do make it a lot easier to list on big exchanges. But we're not really in a position to give any details about whether negotiations are ongoing or how they're going on or anything like that. So we can't really give you any timeline on that.
No worries. Cheers, guys.
Thank you. All right, let's see here. Mo, you've been waiting for a minute. The floor is now yours.
Hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. How you doing?
All good. Awesome news, guys. Thank you all for the effort, and I'm super excited about those new announcements. I just have like two questions. The first one was actually answered briefly by Titan like 5 minutes ago regarding the money in the Kraken, and the second thing is the reduction of the tax from 11 to 6% on the V2. Can you guys just say like a few words regarding those two things?
Yeah, so I'll speak to the reduction and then I'll let Titan take the other question. So we will be removing the 2% rewarder tax, which is essentially the reflection, and we'll be lowering the buyback tax to 4%, giving us a total of 6% tax, with 2% going into the operations wallet, which handles marketing, development, all of that fun stuff. We call it the project sustainability wallet, and then 4% going into the buyback wallet.
Sorry, so the buyback wallet will be the new Kraken in the V2.
Correct.
So, okay. So regarding the second question, I'll be waiting on that.
Yeah.
Okay, let me take this. So regarding the Kraken money, yeah, we have the option to take out the money. I don't know, like most of you guys might not be remembering when we did the Certic audit, they actually complained about one of the issue, and I mentioned that I do not want to like do anything with that. So that is the reason we actually fast tracked our own and made sure that contract is put into our own, making sure that nothing can be touched. And right now we have that option to take out the money, and we can actually use that for the liquidity on all the three chains. And with the new upgrade contract, we'll be going with Certic before we launch it. We'll make sure that we'll have zero issues before we launch the EverRise V2.
But can't we just take the money from V1 and put it into the buyback or the Kraken V2 and just like kind of equalize it, like the same thing?
No, we are not trying to equalize with the Kraken. We are trying to equalize the liquidity pools across the chains. Now, the issue is we don't have liquidity money for Ethereum or Poly chains. Now, we need the liquidity everywhere. So, whatever the liquidity we can get from V1 plus the Kraken amount, we can readjust that in the equal amounts of liquidity across all the chains. That is how we go about.
Awesome. Thank you, guys, and I'll be listening in.
Great, thank you. Hal, I see you're back. Let's try this again. You now have the floor. Hal, you might need to unmute your mic.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry, just a couple questions. I came in here late as well. So I was just briefly reading the announcement on Twitter. I guess my question is hypothetically, well, not hypothetically, but is the conversion rate currently 10,000 to 1 or something like that? So if you have, say, 1 billion Rise tokens, when you convert to V2, is it a 10,000 to 1 conversion rate, or what is it?
Yes, it is 10,000 to 1.
10,000 to 1.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I guess my other question is I don't know if I was reading this right, but I think on the while I was reading, it says here that we would have the ability to swap coins for stable coins. So is that saying that if I have Rise, I would be able to swap for like any stable coin pretty much, or what does that mean?
It's with regards to the strategic reserves. So our Kraken wallets will have the ability to go from just BNB to stablecoin or any other cryptocurrency.
Okay. Gotcha. And let's see. I think that was it. You guys pretty much answered all the other questions. Well, folks that were allowed to talk answered some of my questions. So that's it. Just want to say keep up the good work. Like the direction this is going in, and look forward to the future.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Joey, you now have the floor. Joey? We will come on back to Joey. Let's go with Garen. Garen, you now have the floor.
Sorry, I have like a terrible delay.
Oh, Garen, give
Yeah.
us 1 second. Go ahead, Joey.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I think my question was kind of answered. So, like right now, I have a certain percentage of the circulating supply due to the burn rate. This conversion kind of suggests that I will no longer have that same circulating supply percentage.
So you will still have the same regarding to your token, it will be the same thing. You have to look at with respect to the circulating supply in the sense not with respect to the actual circulating supply, but whatever the tokens you have, it is with respect to the total supply. So think of the burn wallet as some person who is like really like doesn't exist. Now we are trying to use those tokens for the liquidity. But your percentage of tokens when we actually, if you look at with respect to market capital, whatever you see, like as I said, I have been saying that market capital is just a number with respect to the tokens available, but you always need to look at it with respect to the total supply, because when you try to sell or when you try to take money, you will only get the value will be decided based on that, not with respect to what is available. So in theoretically, the value won't change for you. Like, in fact, it will be better value once we go for V2.
Okay. And the only other question, I didn't get to read the whole blog post, but I didn't see, and I haven't heard any mention of EverWallet. I'm assuming that's the staking mechanism.
Yeah, staking mechanism is what we are saying is currently we are using buyback and burn. That is our core principle. But going forward, it will be buyback and stake. So we'll have a staking contract. So whenever like people can just stake their tokens into the contract, and whenever we do the buyback, the tokens will be distributed to the holders who stake on those contracts.
Yeah, but you'll stake in EverWallet, I'm assuming.
No, that itself is a contract. You don't stake in a wallet. The staking itself is a contract, separate one. Everything will be logged under the contract.
Okay, thank you. And congrats.
Awesome. Garen, the floor is now yours.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So first, I'd like to say congrats on the new direction where EverRise is going. Second, I would like to say that I'm proud to have guessed it correctly in the tweet that we sent. I did guess that we would have the ability to stake. So woohoo to me. And my question is, Um, if I am a EverRise holder on the ETH side, would I be staking on the ETH side and getting Rise in ETH staking rewards?
Yeah,
How does that work?
yeah. Let me take this one. Like, this is what actually I want to tell everybody. Like, when you stake, you will have like the staking contract will be available in all the chains. So wherever you stake your tokens, the reflections of, I mean, the buyback tokens will be distributed to only that chain. The ideal way is like staking in all the three chains, making sure that the buyback can happen for a variety of reasons, not just the volume. Suppose if we get good projects or more projects on each side, we might get more revenue there. Suppose if you get more projects on poly, we might get more revenue there, which will be distributed to poly holders. At the same time, when the buyback happens, it will go to the staking holders on the poly chain. So I mean, like for the investors, it's like there are more options to actually plan perfectly and put the strategies, like everything, like it comes into picture. You got
Okay, okay. Yeah, I think I understood. I'm not too sure, but okay, that's good. And well, I was wondering if that's the case, would there be eventually it may create some imbalances, right? I mean, you're going to start off with a perfectly balanced liquidity pool on all chains, but eventually, as people are staking on one chain more than the other, then they will create a disbalance. And I was going to suggest maybe there'll be another mechanism where our staking is not associated with a particular chain, and there would be some sort of a balancer that you would have that would automatically continuously balance all chains at the same time.
I mean, the imbalance will come in the sense like it will come for short time. That is when you get the arbitrage opportunities. And that is one reason we wanted to yellow that option. So that's the reason we are reducing the tax so that it will be minimal tax and stuff. 11% it is. Earlier it used to be like if you buy and sell it is 22% overall. Now it is just 12%. So if more than that, if you can actually take advantage of that 12% profit, like the profit of 12%, yeah, that will be giving some options. And also like the prices will still surely imbalance out, but the liquidity wise, it all depends on like how fast it will grow on each chain. Since we are actually doing this native token conversion from BNB to ETH and the underlying is Rise, even there also the opportunities will automatically come because we're buying on one side and selling on other side. So yeah, I mean, so many things will happen. Like people, I mean, we'll give the tool will actually show you the price on each chain before you actually make the bridge, whether you need to take the advantage or not. I mean, we want to give more opportunities for the investors to look after something like.
Okay, yeah, I got it. Yeah, definitely. The arbitrage will definitely come and balance everything up. And one more quick question. Currently, if I go to CoinMarketCap or to CoinGecko, we don't see anything about ETH side. So, people who look up EverRise will only think that it only exists on the BNB side. Is there any plans to upgrade the information there to show the contract on the ETH side as well, so people
We
can?
will be upgrading and updating all of that information upon launch of V2.
Okay, so basically, for at least another month or so, the ETH side will be kind of dormant, I guess, because there won't be any much people knowing about that side, right?
Correct.
But
Okay.
still, people can buy on the ETH side if the price is less, because the tokens wise, they will still get the same 10,000:1. Like, yeah,
Yes. Okay.
we're not putting more focus because we want to go to. I mean, we want to fix the issues. Like that is the reason we close the breach so that the arbitrators people will not take the advantage of BSC. So yeah, with the V2, the bridge will be completely open. Everything will be balanced out.
Okay, so the bridge between BNB and ETH will be closed still until V2 is open.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
All right, guys, we have a couple more hands. I'm going to try to get everyone up here who hasn't had the opportunity to speak, and then we'll probably need to close out the AMA. So let's start with Ape Whale. The floor is now yours. Ape Whale, you might need to unmute your mic, which you can do in the bottom left-hand corner.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. How are you
Hi.
doing?
Good, good, good. I love the direction we're going, but I have a question for someone in the Discord. Enchiladas would like to know what the marketing approach is going to be moving forward with the new V2 launch. That's the question. Thanks.
Yep. So this is something that David and I are starting to dig into this week. As you guys can just tell, we just announced V2. This was a decision that we made as a core team over the weekend. So there's a lot to be planned and there's a lot to do on the marketing front. And at this point, it makes the most sense for us to put all of our marketing efforts towards bringing attention to V2. So in terms of marketing there, I'll have more updates for you guys in the next week or so. But we're going to continue to build our foundation. Our new website is coming. Our consolidated links are coming. We're going to start building out all of our backlinks, strengthening our SEO, and really taking ownership over the topic of like safety and security in DeFi in terms of Google search terms. So over the next, let's call it a month until we announce V2, we're going to be more in a building phase and continuing to further our partnership discussions that we've already put into place, as well as, creating a proper launch for V2 since we'll have the time to plan it.
Okay. And then my other question, follow-up would be communication-wise, you guys went from communicating with the AMAs twice a week, which was great, and then things kind of went silent. So is that going to continue or not?
Yeah,
That's
we
the
will
other question.
definitely be resuming the AMAs on Tuesdays. If we're not leveraging that time slot for an announcement like we did today. And then with regards to the second AMA slot, it's something that is up for discussion. We feel that potentially one AMA with myself, TJ, and Waso is enough, but we're looking at filling in that other slot with something that could be educational and useful for all investors in DeFi, as opposed to having it be an AMA.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Thank you. Caps Lock, floor is now yours.
Yeah, hey guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. How you doing?
Awesome. Thanks. All right. Just digesting. Question. And Garen brushed up on this and Titan addressed it, but just to follow up, will the bridge be opened from ETH to BSC? I understand the concerns the other direction, but there are holders over on the ETH side that may have moved over to the ETH side because of the prior direction that we were going with the Polygon opening up. And as it stands now, I don't think there would be that much risk opening, and correct me if I'm wrong, anyone, opening from ETH to BSC, because there's only 6 trillion tokens over there. I mean, in total, there's 14 and change, but it's 6 and change are either in the dead wallet or in the liquidity pool. So Titan, would you consider that so that way those at ETH are not held hostage is such a strong term, but held in place, I guess, until the price action as a result of this announcement, the implementation of this new plan carries out and has impact. So put more simply, will you consider opening ETH to BSC because that's where the trading is going to happen?
Yeah, I understand. So what I can get from this is that there are two options. If they wanted to hold for V2, they'll still get the same tokens. But if they wanted to don't come with V2, if they want to sell out, there is not much liquidity on the ETH. They need to have the option of selling on BSC. Yeah, I get it. So yeah, we'll do it. You got a point.
Gotcha. And I'm not asking because I want to sell. I can't imagine many wanting to. But good. Could you speak to the potential timing of that? I don't know if you just answered that off the cuff and maybe don't have a plan for that, but is that something you would be able to institute? And if you do, will you be adjusting the gas fees appropriately? Because I know it was set to a high amount to discourage the arbitrage trading after the ETH launch.
Yeah, actually, from ETH to BSC, the gas fee is very low. Only from BSC to ETH, we put it high because
Oh, right. You because you set the BNB high. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, that was a poor
Mm,
question then. Yeah, so it'll just be subject to the normal gas
yeah,
fees coming from ETH to BSC.
exactly. So the gas fee
Gotcha.
depends on each chain. But I mean, this is a valid. We need to be fair for everybody. Like, if they wanted to leave, I mean, we don't want to like. I mean, as I said, even though you use the word hostage, I mean, yeah, it will be like that if you don't allow it. Yeah, I'll surely
Sure.
consider that. We'll open it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and that's why I preface that with it's a strong word, and that's not exactly what I was trying to get across. I do have a little bit more of a difficult question, and I hope nobody takes this the wrong way. Not trying to flood here. Everybody knows me. I've been here, day one. I'll continue being here. If we had a project on Everown and the owners of that project received the contract back via community vote for, let's say, whitelisting purposes, and the project developers decided to go a completely different route, overhaul the project, supply cap, deflationary nature, etc., would we find ourselves intervening with that project to stand up for their community, since they didn't have a say and they may have purchased that token under the pretense that any significant changes will be held to vote? Could you speak to that?
No, we cannot 100% stand for that in the sense we don't want to interfere in other people's business. I mean, we are just think of our own as a locker. Like, you just put your documents there and take out, and we really, I mean, we need to put some lines between the projects. We cannot go and say that, hey, you guys are doing. I mean, the only thing is there's nothing what actually it's up to the community. I mean, it's all like building the trust or like how they communicate with the people. I mean, we really don't want to involve in the other projects doings. So yeah, that is the line what we want to make sure that EverOwn is kind of a locker, but with EverOwn 2.0, in the sense the upgraded EverOwn, what we are planning is the first step for the EverRise. What we are doing is all the functions, the majority of the functions, whatever we put into EverOwn, we don't need to reclaim it. Without reclaiming, we'll just put a vote, and EverOwn takes care of updating it. So theoretically, we don't ever need to ask for the community to give the ownership back. We'll ask the community to make the change. They will approve it. EverOwn takes care of doing it. That is what the new approach for the EverOwn. But in the current world, if they take the ownership back, if they do anything, we do not have any say in that.
Do you think that I appreciate that? Thank you. Do you think then it might be wise to adjust the messaging function of the vote, where there's a stated reason given for the vote, and rather than giving a stated reason like whitelisting or making some minor adjustment, just simply saying this will unlock the contract for the developers to make changes?
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, also.
I was gonna say we've actually talked about this quite a bit, right? Do we put like a description on the vote, determining what that dev is intending to do? Like we've kind of taken like the mindset of, we want to protect EverRise, we want to protect, of course, the community that is part of that project that's partaking in that vote, which is why we've kind of up until this point, and I imagine we're going to continue to leave it the same, is EverOwn is a locker, right? And the community is going to vote once the dev requests to reclaim, and that's really like the function of EverOwn. Is it's a smart contract locker. I feel like once we get into defining why is the locker being opened and did the dev make that exact change or not, it opens us up to some liability issues. This is also coming from, I'm not an attorney, so maybe Gard, you can, I know your entire focus is, safe harboring, EverRise, and I don't know if you want to add any comments to that, but for me, I actually would prefer that we do not add a description and rather, we continue on the path that we've started, that, everyone is a locker, that the community votes on when it unlocks. And, why they choose to vote yes or no is, between them and their community, and not something that, EverRise should really be involved in. But that's just my thoughts.
I agree with you 100%. I really do. As an investor and supporter of the project, I agree with you. And correct me if I'm wrong, my understanding of the process now is that a project can specify custom text for the two voting options. So I guess what my question was getting at is that maybe something we want to look at and adjust that. But is that right? A project can say, you're voting to either unlock for this purpose or you're voting against unlocking for this purpose. That's how it stands right now, right?
Yeah, so at this moment and how it's been since we launched Everown is the dev comes, hits the reclaim, function, a vote starts, and then the dev goes into his own community and tells them, I'm attempting to reclaim the contract. Please go cast your vote. This is what I'm looking to do with it. And then, those individual investors, they vote based on, do they want that change? Do they trust this dev? Do they like the direction the project is moving? So there's so many like, you know, non-tangibles that go into that vote for each individual investor, which is why like I said, we've had this conversation a couple of times, and I know my stance has always been like, don't put a reason, and just allow the community to decide for themselves. But I am curious, Gard, if you don't mind commenting on this from like a legal perspective. What do you think?
No, I'm in that school too. I mean, people do, as long as we are clear on the messaging that we only provide a contract locker, we provide a limited service. I've always said in my previous AMAs and things like this that, we just literally cannot prevent every kind of fraud. Like people's bikes are still going to be stolen, even though we have Everown. And, with that in mind, there will be a limit to how much we can actually do. And in that case, the kind of safest thing for us to do as a company, and frankly for our own investors, is to just draw the line where it's easy to draw it, which is that we don't interfere with the kind of internal governance of other projects. We just provide a service. And I know that that's like not necessarily the version of this answer that people want to hear, because I do know that we are, it genuinely is what we're trying to do is to provide safety services. But and I do know that means like that can be a little bit rough when people realize that actually means that we just provide these limited services, and that we don't, because we can't fix the entire world, we don't attempt to. And I realize that that's like that can sound a little rough, but that's frankly the only defensible position here, is to let investors in other projects do their own research about the projects that they've joined. If we were to undertake those kinds of responsibilities on their behalf, then the kinds of liabilities that we would face, and that we would open our own project to, and therefore the investors of our project to, would be pretty much endless. And also just kind of not, the kind of resources that we would have to spend on doing that would also be pretty much endless. So it's just like not something that we can really do. And
totally understand. I wouldn't expect you guys to do it. It would be a nightmare doing that. I guess maybe my confusion is there not an option, or is there an option for a dev within Everown? Obviously, whatever the messaging is to their community, that's something different. But is there an ability in Everown to specify the text that appears during the voting process that specifies what the vote is for, or is it just a standard static text that says yes, allow the dev to reclaim or not?
Yeah, we can come up with the text. We can give the option of changing the text according to the project, whatever they want. Yeah, we can actually plan that.
Because Titan, right now, what they specify is whether they're looking to, do a vote regarding pulling some liquidity, whether they're looking to do a vote to reclaim the smart contract to make changes. Like those are the only, what do I say? Like only options that, a voter would see. But like what you're suggesting, I guess, is like adding a little bit more text, giving the dev an opportunity to put a description. Is that the idea?
Yes,
Actually, the reverse of that, Wasso. So I understood it as being that exists now. Like the dev currently has the ability to say this reclaim vote is for this purpose. Am I wrong?
They don't have that ability.
Yeah, currently
Okay,
we
good.
don't have that ability. But yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, currently all they have is reclaim the contract for a smart contract change or for liquidity to either pull liquidity or obviously they wouldn't use it for ad, but those are the only two options that the dev can select, and that was like the most I could say that we were kind of comfortable with at this point.
Gotcha. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it, and I apologize for any redundancy because this has been the topic that's been talked about a lot. And maybe there was an easier way for me to ask that, but hopefully it promoted some good discussion and kind of revisiting those topics. So I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah,
No,
you don't need to apologize.
Not at all, man. Like I hope for everyone that listened to that entire back and forth really takes away that, we've spent a lot of time, making sure that we're able to protect Rise, first and foremost, but as well as, those other communities and those other projects while allowing them to have the ability to, operate and govern themselves how they wish. So like, reaching this point, required quite a bit of thought and back and forth, similar to this conversation that we had from that question. So, thank you very much, man.
All right,
Yeah,
Sam.
thank you, guys.
The floor is now yours. Sam, can you hear us? All right. We'll circle back. Asim, the floor is now yours. Hopefully I didn't mispronounce your name.
Oh, no. Thank you. Just a quick question. So I'm not familiar with how the technology works. I have EverRise in the Trust Wallet. So I was wondering if you guys will have instructions, like step by step, on how to convert from V1 to V2 when that happens.
Yes, we'll absolutely create documentation for Trust Wallet as well as MetaMask.
Okay, because I think on iOS, Trust Wallet doesn't support the apps. And my second question, not sure if I'm asking this the proper way, but what will the price be, like the launch price for V2? Is it going to be the same as V1?
Yes, it will continue from where V1 stopped. Like you will literally see no difference. Like on the day whenever we try to swap, the V1 will still go on. As soon as V2 is ready, once we enable the swap, people will start swapping, and once that swapping is done, we'll say that okay, this is the timeline, and exactly at that time we'll stop V1 and we'll go to V2. The same price will be carry forward.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome. All right, guys. I think that's all the questions that we saw today on today's Twitter Spaces. Before we close this out, does anyone from leadership want to say anything?
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone for sticking with us, believing in us, everything we've done from the beginning. I recognize a lot of names, a lot of pictures, a lot of faces. I got into this project with the belief of Titan. I mean, that was the initial feeling that everybody had in Telegram when we launched the coin, and now, which I think is amazing, especially as we progress up the rankings in the DeFi world as we bring more products out. So I just want to thank each and every one of you for holding, believing in us, and in your faith in the team that we're going to build something truly revolutionizing to the space. And with that said, I'll hand the floor off to anyone else on my team that would like to say something. But this all goes out to you guys. I mean, we wouldn't be able to do this without your belief in us. So thank you very much.
I'll just add my voice to that choir. So thank you all very much for your belief in the project and your belief in the team. And yeah, it's been a real journey. And I mean, the technology that we're seeing now is really incredible, and it could really change things. I'm really excited about it. It's another one of these where we take another step that just increases the RPM in this project on a completely new gear. And I look forward to seeing what the future holds. So thank you all very much for joining us in the journey so far, and I hope to continue to see as many of the familiar faces here and also the new faces as possible.
Yeah, I also want to say thank you to the entire community, like for trusting me or believing in me or the project. I have been like following the comment, like you are like my family now. Like you keep motivating me like to do the things. We can't guarantee anything, but with your support, we can do anything. Like I mean, we'll try to do whatever we can. Thank you for everything. Like the max I can say is that one.
I'll say thanks also. Definitely thank you everybody for your time. And definitely keep an eye out on us. We definitely have a lot of good things coming up. We've had some nice adoption into Everown. We're going to be getting a few more ETH projects coming. We have a few partnerships we're working on now, some other auditors, and we're moving in the right direction. And I wasn't kidding when the first thing I said was this move to V2 and going to a fixed supply is going to open up a lot of doors for us. So appreciate everyone that's been diamond handed and really trusting in us. And we're going to keep working for all of you. Thank you, guys.
All right, everyone. On that note, this is my thank you to the community. And just again, echoing what everyone else has said and your belief in us and your belief in what we're building. We're incredibly excited to start this EverRise V2 journey, and we hope you stick around for it. We will be posting some stuff in the Telegram after I end this Twitter space, so keep an eye out. We'll be around, and if you guys need us or have questions, just ask. We're here to answer them. So thank you so much for the time, and we hope everyone, you have a great rest of your Tuesday.
Thank